Hi leaders, this week we're kicking off a new series called Viral. Now this word used to mean something more negative, but in today's society it actually means something positive. You might have seen a viral video or picture on Facebook, and chances are you've seen something go viral this week. But the question is, why did it go viral? What causes one picture or video to be shared by 1 million people while another one just disappears? That's a question lots of people want to know the answer to. Basically, something is more likely to go viral if you care about it in a good way. If it makes you laugh, smile, or feel inspired to do something positive, then you're off to a good start. That's what this series is about, making good things in our lives, not just online, go viral. Today we're going to be talking about a part of our lives that can go viral, and that's compassion. Compassion is simply caring enough to do something about someone else's need. There's always someone who could use some help or some kindness, but maybe it goes beyond one person. Maybe it's bigger than that. The reality is that needs are everywhere, but even though we see them, we don't always want to do something about them, do we? It's not that we're all cold-hearted people or unkind, but if we're honest, showing compassion to someone in need can make us feel awkward or powerless or maybe overwhelmed. Talk to anyone who has studied the life of Jesus, and they'll tell you that his life was actually driven by compassion. He stopped to help women, children, sick people, and anyone else that his culture considered unimportant or outcasts. One of those people, Matthew, the tax collector, wrote about this in the Gospel of Matthew. There he tells us about several people Jesus healed, including a deaf girl, a blind man, and a guy who couldn't talk. Religious leaders felt threatened by all of this. They started telling people that Jesus was working for Satan. Despite the allegations, though, Jesus kept up his work. And the crowds, out of curiosity, they kept showing up. Matthew 9:36 tells us, when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them. Now really focus in on that. Jesus felt something for these people. They weren't all important people. They weren't popular, and they certainly weren't all people who liked or agreed with Jesus. But he cared deeply about all of them. In other words, Jesus cared, not just because he physically saw people, but because he paid attention to them. He took the time to notice them. If you and I are honest, we'd admit that that's not something we do regularly. The most common reason we don't help people is because we don't notice them. It's not that we don't care, it's just that it doesn't cross our minds. You're probably busy. You're busy with work or your family. Our students are busy with school, homework, class, and the list is endless. So it's difficult to take time to actually see other people. But your busyness isn't bad, and that's what we want to let our students know too. It's not bad to be busy. You're just trying to focus on doing a good job. But with your mind always racing towards the next thing, it's easy to speed past people without even noticing what they're going through. We get so focused on what's in front of us that we're not aware of what's around us. That's why it's such a big deal that Jesus saw the crowds. Later it says, when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. He saw more than what they were. He saw why they were that way. He saw people who had been harassed, mocked, and taken advantage of, people who needed help. They needed someone to protect them like a shepherd would protect their sheep. The why can change everything. So often we hear the word compassion and think it's something we have to create, and sometimes that's true. But more often, compassion is sparked in us when we take the time to notice someone and see what's really going on with them. Compassion is fueled by focus. Jesus made compassion go viral. He cared about other people, especially people who were considered outcasts and unimportant, in a way that made others pay attention to both those people and to him. That's what happens when we show compassion. Others see Jesus in us, but that also see value in the people we care about. They pay attention because we're paying attention, and in that way, compassion begins to spread. It starts by taking time to notice people, because compassion is fueled by focus. This week, we want to remind our students to practice noticing people around you. Don't just pay attention to who is there and what they're doing, but we want to help them focus on why they are the way that they are. We can tell them to pray to God, saying, God, help me to see what I don't normally see. Following Jesus is also about doing the things that Jesus did, and paying attention to and caring about the people around us is what Jesus did. You may just find your heart moved with compassion and your life becoming more like Jesus. So this week we'll see you at 4:45 for our leader huddle, but have a great week.